Well, hi guys. How you doing? Good to see you all, and I hope you can hear me. And I hope you don't miss the shiny head too much tonight. This is a new look for me with a hat on. I think I've done a couple of streams with a hat on, and most YouTubers wear hats on their streams. Half of them wear them backwards. I'm too old to wear my hat backwards, except when I'm flying and have to put the goggles down, because it's very hard to put the goggles down with the bill in the way. So, just to get it out of the way, the story about the hat is that my dermatologist a few days ago decided that he wanted to attack my forehead here and here and here with a squirt bottle of liquid nitrogen, and kind of freeze off what they call precancers. They're not really cancers. They're just little spots they suspect might turn into a cancer. And for about a week after they do that, you got a sore, and then it develops a little scab and looks crazy, and everybody asks you what kind of fight you were in, or whether you were attacked by a bird, or any number of other things. So I decided tonight that I would wear this hat, and I'm trying to make sure that it is exactly straight. There we go. And I don't think it looks too bad, and saves you guys from the terrific glare that usually is my head. So it's Thursday night again. Welcome, guys. Good to see everybody. Let me go back in the chat here a little ways. Jody won tonight at 5:12. Came in, said hi to me. Jaybird followed about 20 minutes later. How you doing? Michael McReynolds, early bird, and then John Coopy. John Coopy came in kind of early. Good to see you. Ed, Love My Drones is here. Agent K. Ruland is here. How you doing? Roland loves us all, as evidenced by his first comment. And who else we got? Love My Drones. Roland, Love My Drones. Paul, Minnesota Paul is here. How you doing, my friend? Said hi to Agent K, Michael McGrath. Tomas. Hey, Tomas. How you doing? Good evening to you, sir. And John Coopy is here. And my friend Pete Nunez, who for some reason is not blue. He's got, I guess, a new account. So we're going to have to make Pete blue. And it's okay, Pete, I think you're going to be blue if you post again. So we'll try it out. Rick Halber's here. Hi, Rick. How you doing, buddy? Mike Kelly's in the house. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Good to see you. Copper State aerial photography. Pete, go ahead and post something so I can make sure that it actually worked. Whoa, look at all the posts. Holy mackerel. Let me run down them real quick, because you guys have been busy while I've been reading that. Peter Carroll, how you doing, Peter? Good to see you. Drone Days, Bob, thanks for coming in, man. Good to see you. Night Train Mike is here. Carlos is here. How you doing, Carlos? Brian, BMAC Aerials, got him sitting in the green room. And said Rick Halber. Hi to Rick Halber. And Pete, you're blue. There you go. Good to see that. And who else? Did I miss anybody else? Pete, Michael, Drone Days, Rick Halber. I don't want to miss. Oh, a Arizona Drone Dude is here. How you doing? And Chris Hope. Hi, Chris. How you doing? He says he's driving. Well, hopefully he'll come popping in to see us when he gets to his destination. And I think that takes me to the bottom of the chat, so that's good. But man, thank you guys for piling in. That's a big start. Like Ed says, nice crowd quick. Yeah, I'm not used to this on a Thursday night. Maybe it's the hat. Maybe I'm just getting prettier. Who knows? Nah, I don't think that's it. Russell. Russell Glarham is in the house. Hi, Russell, just watching. And Jim, I'm sweating like a whore in church here. Yes, Jim, it is a little muggy, and I've got this fan blowing on me. So if you guys hear a little air flowing in the background, you'll pardon me. Better than watching me sweat all over the place. So that is everybody in the chat. Let me bring in some panelists here. We'll start with Brian, EMAX Aerials.
Hey, how's it going? Is my audio there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Because my stuff is crackling. I think it's your hat.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No, it's your hat.
Well, it's all whatever it is. It's going to be my fault. I mean,
I know.
I'm used to that. I accept responsibility for virtually everything.
Just get that out of the way now.
Yeah, why not? Why not? But
yeah,
this isn't a.
I popped into the stream a few minutes ago, and I said, "Who's that old guy wearing a hat?" Oh, that's Mitch. I swear to God, it completely between that and the headphones, it completely changed everything. I said, "Who is that?"
You were right on both counts. An old guy and a hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were correct. But I did this before a couple of times. I wore a hat on the live stream. Like I say, a lot of guys do. A lot of guys wear them backwards. In fact, I don't ever think I've seen Ken Dono with his hat on frontwards. Have you?
No. Or not at all, maybe.
I never seen him. I don't think I've seen him without it. It's possible. But always guys. But that's the younger generation thing. I put out that video today of me test flying Carlos's quads. And I had my buddy Pete Nunez there, who's in the chat here. He came out to assist, and I gave him my cell phone so he could take some shots of that actually where I was actually in it instead of just wearing a head camera or having footage of from the goggles, DVR. So he took some pictures of me and my chicken legs, and
are these the ones that y'all were talking about a while back about? Carlos's quads. Okay, I do remember that.
Yeah. Test flew 3 of them yesterday, and it worked out pretty good. Speaking of Carlos, the owner of those beautiful quads,
the ex-owner, they're in your possession, right?
I know it, and they say possession is 90% of the law. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Good evening,
and look, hey Carlos, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
I don't think it was the hat that brought them and your sexiness.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Before we get started too much, we got Mr. Chris Hope is with us. Hey, Chris.
Driving Hope.
I'm driving Hope. So I can't.
That's okay.
How's my audio right quick?
Well, when you're facing forward, it's a little dim, but when you turn towards the, stay facing forward. It's okay. That's okay.
Right. That's kind of important.
Left, right, I'll yell in between.
So Carlos, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Woke up a little while ago. Made sure I'm here to see those drones and talk about them. Especially the 6-inch.
I'm sure. Hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Did you say something? Your audio is a little quiet there.
I'm not talking to Brian.
Oh, okay.
He won't talk to me earlier, so I want to get on here and repay the favor.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just take Brian and put him right down there next to you. How's that?
There you go. Smack him. Poke him in the eye.
We can do that now. That's a new feature of StreamYard. So we can play musical chairs with people. In fact, if you don't want to be looking at Brian, Chris, I'll do this so you guys are looking away from each other.
Now,
there you go. That's an idea.
Now I can really.
What's up?
I can really. Keep your eyes on the road.
I love it.
On the road.
I love new toys. I love new toys, man. So, yeah, got 24 people in here. 23, 24. That's good for Thursday night at 6 o'clock.
I agree.
So, Brian, what's new with you?
Oh, okay.
I don't want to start that book.
Uh-oh. Okay, just tell us.
All right.
One good thing that happened to you today. One good thing.
I can't do that.
Not even one?
So far, it's been nothing good.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I had a
You
cop.
woke up.
I had a cop incident with the drone. You know,
Really?
Really?
Tell us.
and I'm licensed and everything, but I just don't even want to go into. I'm standing on a public street, droning. My drone is up over the woods, droning a brand new office building being built. He goes, "You can't do that here." I said, "Why? We don't allow pictures here." Where is here? What is it? This is not, I'm standing here on a public street and you're saying this is private property? I just defused it and just said, whatever, and got out of there. But I'm actually under contract from the people who are building this building, and I'll be going back to there next week. I guarantee it.
Well, I would follow up. I would follow up on that. I mean,
No, I'm going to.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Did you get the guy's
building-
name? And
Yeah, I got his name. I got him on
okay, I
video.
mean, I would, and I wouldn't be belligerent about it, but I would definitely contact the police and say,
No,
you know,
I will get belligerent when I'm doing what I do on public property.
He needs to
I'm
be
on private
educated.
property. It's a whole different thing.
well, you get the police all angry at you, and you're gonna, and they're gonna make your life miserable, no matter, even if it's right or wrong. So I would.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to let the person who has hired me to do this deal with that, or they don't get the finished product. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, that's probably a good.
Good
I would
point.
think that's a good way to handle it. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I said, okay, I'm not going to argue with this fool, but it just, how something like that'll just ruin your day. So
Yeah, and I mean, I never heard of somebody saying you're not allowed to take pictures.
Yeah.
yeah,
Where is that
Especially in
written?
public place. What state are you
yeah,
in?
They
Texas.
still got your picture at the post office,
Texas,
right?
even unbelievable. Where is that written that you can't take
Nowhere.
pictures?
Nowhere.
Isn't it great? We're all trying to stand up for the police these days because they're getting a hard time and they're getting a lot of bad raps. We're all trying to stand up for them, but when they do crap like this,
You should have mentioned that to him too.
yeah, it makes you want to
Yeah, no, I don't want to pull up
reevaluate your status.
I don't want to put out my BLM sign on him. I don't. That may not have gone over well.
My drone matters. It's not whatever. Anyway. All right.
yeah.
So anyway, Mike says his best part of the day was when he didn't fall off the ladder when he was attacked by a swarm of yellow jackets.
Oh, don't talk to me about yellow jackets. I got stung by one of them, and that was enough. I can't imagine a whole swarm of them. Wow.
Not allowed to take pictures.
Yeah, DLMN, Drone Lives Matter. That's
That's right.
John Coopy's. DLM, yeah. John Coopy's named our movement. Yeah. No, that's without a doubt the most absurd thing I've heard today.
Now this project I'm working on is going to take until next March to complete,
Wow.
and it's a bunch of still photos, and what I'm doing, I'm circling the building as it's being built.
Yeah.
So
It's like a
it'll have-
timeline.
right. And I've been putting it together just today, and I found out, this is why I need Adobe Premiere. I can't do it on Filmora. It's just too choppy. Adobe Premiere will line up my shots for me. And as much as this may pay, this may be more than worth it. So
Do you have one of those vests that says commercial drone pilot?
I'm going to get one, and I'm going to get an ID made up with my YouTube name on it, and with my license number, my FAA thing, and leave it back, because that was, I think, because he said the first thing was, "Where's your ID?"
All about that vest.
So,
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've had a couple of occasions. I've mentioned this before where I was
but the
out
thing
doing a
about it is,
commercial.
you're in a public place. You shouldn't need anything.
But you wear that vest, and it's a whole different deal. Like I said, I was out at a commercial shoot with thousands of people around, and there was 20 cops there controlling traffic and parking and keeping people away. And I walked up, and I needed to get across the street, and I walked up with that vest on and all that equipment in my hand, and the cop came over and asked if he could help me. He stopped the traffic. He kept people away from me. you know, I mean, I felt like a big deal. If I didn't have the vest on that said licensed commercial FAA drone pilot,
Do not
I don't think I
disturb.
would have. I don't think I would have gotten that kind of consideration.
Yeah, I need the one on the back that says, you know, all that what you just said, and then on do not disturb.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it says on the back. I think it says
Don't
licensed
distract.
FAA.
Did he say anything
I
like
don't
that?
think so. I don't remember. I don't remember.
I'm just following the
But,
chats. It was on TV. Some fool landed in the middle of a field during a game. Drone days.
Yeah, I heard that. Heard that.
When
Heard
was
about
this?
that.
Is this something I missed? I know
Just
there was one
happened.
over. Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was Ken Herron put up a post, or somebody put up maybe it was Ken Dono who put up a little survey that basically said, "Do you think this was a publicity stunt, or B, just some moron drone pilot?"
Probably a
And the
moron.
moron drone pilot was up like 85% the first.
I was
you know,
gonna
at
say
the time
that's
I
obvious
looked
to
at that.
me.
Yeah.
EBR just joined
Well,
us, and I want to ask Chris about his drowned Tinyhawk freestyle. Did you
Oh,
start it
yeah.
up again, Chris?
Oh yeah, yeah. I started it up, Carlos, and the lights come on, which was good, and the smoke
Okay.
come out after the lights come on.
Seriously?
Well,
It's done.
at least you had light, so you at least you had light so you could see the smoke. You know, I mean, the smoke show wouldn't have been nearly as entertaining without the lights. Now, keep that thing, because I'm sure the motors are still good, the props are good, the camera's probably okay. So you know, you got some spare parts there that might be, you know, worth holding on to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a tough little old thing, man. I slammed that thing into the scoreboard down at school a couple of weeks ago, head on. And
Yeah, those things take a beating, like Timex
it's
like
a
Timex
tough
watches.
dude.
Yeah.
Chris, what made you get the Tinyhawk freestyle and not the Tinyhawk 2 with the?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's Justin over at Drone Camp.
Oh, okay.
I watched him do a video on it, and I said, you know what, Mitch and Carlos have been asking me to get into this for about 6 to 8 months.
Mhm.
I had a $50 Amazon card, so I bought it.
Cool.
So you didn't get you got the freestyle?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, one interesting thing I like Justin at Drone Camps RC. The only problem is he likes virtually everything he reviews,
He does.
and virtually everything he reviews is the quad of the year
Yes. Or the
every
best
day.
one. The best one.
The best one or the quad of the year. Or my favorite thumbnail of his is "Take my money," he says. "Take my
Please.
money."
Please. Yeah.
Yeah, but he does good reviews and pretty thorough reviews. But you know, personally, between you and me, I think maybe you tone down on the clickbaity
Yeah.
thumbnails. But that's just my opinion, and y'all know
Y'all.
about my opinion.
Offer no purchase necessary. Offer valid at participating locations. Void where prohibited. No animals were harmed during the production of this soundboard. Subject to change without notice. Side effects include dry mouth, occasional pig snort or two, sore stomach, teary eyes, achy jaws, and whatever tingles while laughing hard.
That's my disclaimer right there, guys. Okay.
Ray
Mitch,
Kelly
I
and-
just
and
opened
Mr.
up a
Steve
tab and I
Carpenter.
said, "Oh God, I hope this isn't going out."
You did what?
I just
You
the
opened
minute
up a
you
tab?
hit that, I opened up a tab and I said, "Oh shit, I hope that's not going out."
Anyway, hello to Steve Carpenter and Ray Kelly, Mr. Mitch. They're
Oh,
in
hey
there.
Ray, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah,
Steve,
tell him
good to
say
see
hi
you.
for me. I can't
Good
see
to
her,
see
but
you.
Hello, everybody.
You know, I've been popping around for the last 2.5, 3 months with just that Tinyhawk 1. I've got like 5 batteries with it. I'm pretty happy with that.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. I still fly mine on occasion. I have the original Tinyhawk 1, and the only problem with it is that there's a 25 milliwatt limitation on the
Yeah.
on the transmitter.
The thing about it is, Mitch, I can't handle more than a couple minutes of flight time on a battery. Between each batteries, I'm like, okay.
Oh, you're real excited.
No, it's like a video game. You know, a fast-paced video game. especially if I'm doing it outside. And I've got so many damn trees around here. I've already gotten caught in the trees a few times.
That means you're having fun if you're breathing heavy after a flight. That just means with a good adrenaline rush.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see me one day going to something with maybe digital, because part of the fuzz with that analog is why I ended up in a tree a few times. So yeah, it's like, what is that? Oh, never mind. I'm already up there.
Well, Brian, the digital just lets you see the tree you're going to hit in
That's what I'm saying.
breathtaking clarity.
There you go. But I couldn't even really see the tree that I was heading at the time. I thought I was going up, and I was going horizontal right into it.
Oh, well, as you fly more, you'll find that'll happen to you less. I still enjoy flying analog. In fact, I probably end up flying more analog than I do digital, because all my fixed wing things are analog, and most of my quads are analog, and all the tiny things are analog. You know, the little Tyro 89 that I love to fly, that tiny little 2-inch deal, that's analog. So you get a decent camera in them, and it's not bad.
Now, one thing I've yet to do with my Tinyhawk is put it in the water.
Try not.
You don't want to do that.
Idea.
Well, I'm just trying to see if Chris is listening.
He's ignoring you.
Yeah, he must be.
Copper State Aerial. Mitch, is there a way to bump it to 200 only if it's the Tinyhawk 2, not the original?
Correct. Yeah, the Tinyhawk 2 is when they started with the 200 milliwatt VTXs. You could of course change the VTX out, but you know, fooling with those tiny little things is not the easiest thing to do anyway. And then you got to buy the 200 milliwatt. So at that point, you just buy the Tinyhawk 2. It's got a better camera in it. It's got a tiltable camera
and
instead
adjustable.
of that. Yeah, that's one of the problems of the original Tinyhawk, was that the camera was fixed, and Chris just disappeared on us. What'd you say, Brian?
Fell off the road.
He probably sold out. Lost that.
I was wondering what that was. That was the road noise I was hearing.
Oh yeah,
from him in the background. Yeah, I thought maybe it was my fan that was blowing here.
See, now there's Ed up there. I love my drone, saying there's a huge difference between 25 milliwatt and the 200. Now you're talking tech about stuff that I have no idea about. I know you, Mitch, know, and I know Carlos knows. I don't care. I just like flying the stuff.
Yeah.
No, well, it affects.
Well, then you fit right in there with Carlos. Carlos doesn't want to know about any of this crap. He just wants to fly.
Well, no, I know how it works. I know what it means. I just don't know how to solder for crap.
If Carlos was like the Sultan of Brunei, he would probably have 100 slaves or servants who were expert drone builders lined up to just bring me, and he would stand out there in a big tent in the desert yelling, "Bring me another one. Bring me another one."
Hey, I do have a question though on that, because I can see through the goggles and everything. Is there a way to capture that stuff?
Well, you have to have a DVR in your goggles.
So if that's okay, good to know.
Well, you can buy for $80. You can buy Eachine E800D goggles that are box goggles. They're not bad, and they take an SD card and have a recorder. You can buy.
That's just it though. The next time I go buy anything when it comes to FPV, I'm going to spend some money, and that's kind of why I'm listening to y'all now, because I'm not going from the Tinyhawk 1 to the 2 to the freestyle to the maybe now I'll get a Cinewoop. No, we're not doing that.
Why?
Oh, okay.
Just curious, but why?
Why? Because I've pretty well mastered this thing, and when I get something digital, something a little bit bigger, I'll take my time with it. I'm not going to try to rip the house apart with it.
But part of the upgrade is learning how to master, like from the Tinyhawk 2 to the freestyle, maybe to a 3-inch. If you're going to go straight to a 3 or a 5-inch and you crash it, you might. No,
he can do it, but Brian, the tiny ones and the smaller ones, even when you get to the bigger ones, are still as much fun to fly, and you can fly them in a larger variety of places. You don't need the kind of room that you need.
My whole thing is when it comes to FPV is the money. I don't want to go shelling out all kinds of stuff, especially when I know that behind me there's drones sitting back there like, okay, I haven't flown that in 2 months. That kind of thing.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't want to do that. If I'm going to get something, I want to get something not the best next step up, but reasonably the next best step up. without breaking the bank and getting me some better quality video and flight time. That's about it.
Well, you're a candidate for the digital system then.
That's what I'm saying.
The DJI. You can get a very small, you don't have to buy a 5-inch quad. You can get a nice, they have beautiful 2.5, 3-inch quads now that have the DJI digital in
And
them. I know.
that's what I've been looking at, is those 3-inch quads, that they seem to work with that DJI system pretty well.
Yeah, Kelly Shores has been flying these things, these little, which
Hey,
ones
Steve.
are they that Kelly flies?
All right, I have something to say. Copper State Aerial a while back. Do you have your Tinyhawk 2 by any chance with you, Mitch? He wants to know how to unlock the VTX. Yes.
Unlock the VTX. Okay. Anyway, let's say hi to Steve Carpenter, everybody. Yay!
Hey!
Oh, Steve just appeared magically, and we didn't want him to think that we didn't notice him.
Nope. Yeah, you
Hello,
had a
Rick.
conversation, and I'm not gonna jump in and butt into the conversation. Except for
How are you?
say
How are you, Steve?
One thing. Just remember, Brian. The bigger that drone, the more damage you'll do.
Yeah. Damn right. Damage. We like damage, man.
I want to be able to.
We're gonna do us some damage.
I want to take
flying
mine to be able
blender.
to hit a cow somewhere.
Hmm.
I just
know if
fly
that's
that
a
thing
good
dead
idea.
into the side of a cow and see if it even notices it.
Oh, it'll notice it. You'll have fillet when you're done. Okay, I'm gonna show.
Wow, you're really
Mike Kelly.
zoomed in.
Mike
Wow.
Kelly. Yeah, I'm gonna show Mike Kelly the answer to his question here,
And hello to
and
Lutzak.
I'm gonna
Mike
try
Kelly?
to.
Copper State
Yeah,
Aerial?
Copper
Oh, that's
State.
Mike Kelly? Oh, okay.
Okay. Right. If you
gotta turn
look
it more.
in the. All right, now I'm looking for a pointer here. Hold on a second.
Oh,
Let me grab
okay.
a pointer. I'm just trying to find. Okay, if you look this way. Okay, if you look right there,
Yep.
where I'm pointing to, there's a button, a little button right there.
Yeah.
Can you see it, Carlos?
No, you got to lean it down a little more.
Hold on a minute.
The rear props go down.
I see it.
No, it's the button is
right
in
there,
the
yeah.
opening
No,
behind the camera.
Yep.
Right down there. I'm
Now I
I'm
see it.
touching it with the wooden stick. Is a little black button. What you do is you stick something in there and you push that button down and you hold it down and then plug in the drone battery. And that, I believe, will unlock
For a few
the
seconds,
DVR.
yep.
Am I correct on that,
Yes,
Carlos?
sir.
Or do you
Right.
have to plug it in first and hold that
No.
down for 3 seconds? No.
No, hold and plug.
You hold it down, this little button right here, and plug the drone in, and that will unlock it. And I believe if you do it again, it'll lock it again. It'll switch between locked and unlocked.
Right. Okay.
I haven't done it in so long and haven't read the directions in quite a while, but I do believe that that is how to do that. So for what it's worth, if that doesn't work, it tells you in the directions. I don't happen to have my directions handy, but from memory, I think that's the.
These things
The
supposed to
proper
come with
way to do it.
directions.
Well, most of the stuff does not come with
QR
directions,
code.
That's what I mean.
which makes YouTube very helpful in so many instances in this hobby that we have.
Okay, I
And
have
the-
a question for you,
The
Mitch.
colors change. I'm sorry, Steve. Lutzat joined us. EBR joined us. Okay, all yours, Steve. What's up?
No problem. Not having the drones that you guys have or purchasing them, and you're saying instructions. My question is how many of them come in English?
They do.
Are they all in Chinese?
No, you actually do get. You usually get if there is any instructions. It's in English, but the problem it's in what we call microscopic English.
Yeah, really.
It's a thing about this big, and it's got an encyclopedia printed on it. You got to get a jeweler's loop out to try to read the thing, and that's why most stuff these days just comes with a barcode on it,
Yeah.
and you just scan it or go to their website and download the manual.
Oh, okay.
And,
So you
And
can,
it's
you
Chinese
can-
English. It's Chinese
Yeah,
English,
it's-
where
yeah.
most of the nouns are left out.
Oh,
Yeah,
kind
there you go.
of like Spanish, English, Spanglish.
Spanglish.
So it's
Spanglish, yeah.
Changlish.
Chinglish.
Ludsat 1 is here. How you doing? Ludsat says that the drone to have is a marmot with a air unit in it. Now, I don't know if he was looking at mine that I have here, but that was what it was on. I think that was what was on the blue. What was on the blue thing when I went over there? Is that what you're talking about? That's my Armiton. That's my Marmot. It's not yours.
That's
Carlos.
yours?
This is mine. This is mine. It's my Armiton Marmot. See, GPS, and inside it, if you look, there's the DJI air unit and the DJI camera, and here, Carlos, is your Chameleon.
They look so.
Oh, you can really tell the difference too.
Yeah,
Well, the arms are different. Definitely.
The arms are longer. This is 6-inch. This is a 6-inch quad. And
Mine
this
is
a
longer
5-inch.
than his.
Yeah.
What's that? Here we go.
I'm not even gonna.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna respond to that at all. But that.
No, I
But,
was just going to say that was your quad, Carlos. It's now Mitch's quad.
Yeah, right.
He's going to be
Carlos.
he's going to be testing it for a few more months.
Yeah.
So I forgot. I did put that video out today where I flew to Schizo. I flew his Acrobrat. That was your Acrobrat, Carl. Not
sir.
my Acrobrat
Yes,
right
yes,
here.
I know.
My Acrobrat right here with the
Yours has the unit.
digital air unit in it. Yes, and that's my Acrobrat, Carlos, and your Acrobrat is right here.
Gotcha. Mine looks stubby.
So I'm swimming. I'm virtually swimming
In drones.
in Armiton quads and Acrobrats here.
Cool. So how did you like the Chameleon flew?
Well, they all, let me tell you, they flew as good a pilot as I am. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not the guy to like Mr. Steele to go take it to an underground garage and see how small a hole I can go through at 80 miles an hour. But I can fly him and I can get him around. And what I want to do, I'll if you hang on a second, I will find it here. I want to show you the
noisy DVR.
and then that would be stopped. So you're recording now. Hold on a second. That's not
We
what
hear
I want
audio.
to show you. I know you could. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see which one of these is the. This is the Acrobrat right here, the flight of the Acrobrat, and it's amazing. I didn't record the Chameleon, but it's just as well because the camera is so shitty. but on the Acrobrat,
Mine. What are you talking about?
no, this is pretty good. This is the Acrobrat, but there we go. Okay.
I was going to say that image is great. What do you mean? It's
Yeah.
shitty?
That looks really good.
Yeah, so that's the Acrobrat. But I want to show you what I was looking for when I was testing. Now, one thing you need to tell me, Carlos, is what you like your rates set at. How many degrees a second?
Whatever was out of the box. I'm gonna have to look into that one.
All right, so you're one of those. Okay. A lot of guys have rates that they like, but one thing you'll notice, I wasn't just flying around to try to take pretty pictures here. I was testing things.
Some
and
range?
one of the range is one, and you notice that the RSSI is always in the 80s or 90s. I didn't go out real far with it, but I went out about as far as you'd probably be flying these things. Mm-hmm. And it always stayed in the mid 80s to 100. So the range on those XM Pluses with the antennas mounted where I put them is fabulous.
Cool.
I only had the little tiny tank running at 200 milliwatts on this, and it'll run at 350. And I just wanted to see how well it did on 200, and it did great. The video stayed terrific.
Steady. Yeah.
But one thing you'll notice is how I'm flying is I keep accelerating in a straight line and making a hard yaw turn to make the thing stop. Because you know how quads will shudder when you do that, when you pull them back hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's prop wash oscillation. Right. And I was trying everything I could do to induce prop wash, like right there, to induce prop wash oscillation, and I could not. Okay?
That's good then.
In any of the three. I could not get it to do that. And that's a function of a lot of the new
filters, you said?
filtering that's in the new version of Betaflight. Yeah, the RPM filters and everything else. And I'm telling you, none of them would rattle around like that. So
I want to say hello to
they don't-
RC Fun Diversions, John, who just joined
Hey,
us.
RC Funds Diversions, how you doing? Now this one here is your
Skits.
Schizo, and this one was faster certainly than the Acrobat.
Oh, I saw that.
This is the one. This is the one I had the most fun with.
And this one is only on 500, able to go to 8, right?
Yeah, it goes to 8, but I had it set on 500. But
And you had the most fun with this one because of the speed?
and it had a decent image. The image on your Chameleon, you've got that RunCam split
Right.
in there that's supposed to have the DVR. Well, one of the problems that they had initially with the original split cameras was that the quality after the split was terrible. It was very, very washed out looking. It was horrible. You wouldn't enjoy it. And it's just it's an old camera. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's an old camera. Do you really need to have the DVR in the quad, the high def DVR? Is that important to you?
No, I would have liked to have it though, but it's not.
Okay, because we can leave it like it is, and it'll probably record a halfway decent high def. But the goggles thing,
I'd rather have good goggles.
not great. If you replace the camera, you can't replace the camera on that because it's an integral part of the whole system, and it's got like one of these harnesses of a million wires that goes to it
Right.
from the and it's a unit all by itself.
Oh,
and
it
you
is a
had said
unit
in
all
the
by
text,
itself.
yeah, it's all one piece. Between
it.
the board and the camera must work together. So you had, and if you want to buy a decent split camera and board now, you're going to be talking $80 to $100, and you're not going to get as good high def as you would if you just put a GoPro on top of it.
Oh, I see.
That's going to get you much better high definition. So
Maybe I should just
I don't.
go with a regular and maybe get one of those cheap those RunCam. They're like $99. They have these.
Yeah,
cheap-
the RunCam 5 and
Right.
you get a mount for it. That's what I do on most of my quads. I don't put the split cameras in them.
Okay.
The camera that I would recommend, which is I think one of the best cameras for a quad out there, is the Cadex Ratel Starlight.
Go for it.
It's about $35-$40 depending on where you get it, but it's the camera that I use in most of my quads. It's a great camera, and that quad deserves to have a good
great
camera in
camera.
it.
I agree.
Yeah, it really does.
That was a terrible
So-
landing.
I thought it was a good landing.
That was a great landing.
That was terrible. I wanted to see like grass being cut. That's how I do it.
Hang on a
That's
second.
what I said, Brian. You need the bigger quad. More
Yeah.
damage.
Hold on a second. We're going to have to revisit that.
That was
Mitch, there's a question in here from Copper State. Sorry, a complete newbie question. Upper left-hand side of the
It's the
screen.
throttle.
What is the bar?
The bar and the numbers, that's coming from the TBS Fusion receiver module. Okay, let's stop here a second and watch the landing. Now, you can't even tell when I touch down.
that's what I'm saying.
That
That's
was
terrible.
so good. That was such a good landing. It was the best landing I've made in a long time right there, guys. That's the landing. So,
Question by RC
I'm
Fund
never flying
Diversions.
again
What
now.
did you say? Hey, Mitch.
and let me
is
finish.
there-
Let me
Oh,
finish
okay.
with. Let me finish with that other one. The module that I have in my I'm using it in my DJI goggles, but it's an analog module, just like you'd plug in the Fat Shark, 2 antennas, and that actually puts that bar. It overlays it on the image coming from this receiver, and when the thing goes one way, it's a diversity. It has basically 2 different antennas, and it takes the signal and the picture from both of these antennas, takes the best of each and combines it into what it thinks each frame into the best frame it can make. Crossfire works that way too, and that little graph is basically showing you real time which one of the antennas is
Oh, that's what that was.
getting
Okay.
the priority of use. Whether it, and you can tell whether your patch antenna is doing you the most good if you have a patch, and you have a lollipop or right hand, polarized antenna. You can tell by looking at that graph which one is actually giving you the most benefit. Okay, so that was that question. And
RC Fund Divergence. Hey, Mitch, is there an LED combo that lets you know you are at the max setting with the rush tank?
there is the rush tank. On one side of it has push buttons. Okay, which are designed to change things if you're not using smart audio. On the other side of the rush tank is an LED, and the color of that LED tells you what power level you're on. If you're on 25, it's green, and it goes like green, orange, red, purple. I think purple, if it's lit up purple, you're on 800. If it's lit up red, I think you're on 500. But don't quote me on that because I never look at the thing. I look in my goggles and it tells me right there on the display what power setting I have. But there is an LED on one side of it, right there, that tells you what the power
So
level
that's the
is.
ludicrous mode, so you can broadcast all over Florida.
Yeah, well,
Something like
800
that.
milliwatts.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but when you know how power works, Steve. You're a radio guy. 20 milliwatts isn't twice as far as 10 milliwatts.
Right.
100 milliwatts is twice as far as 10 milliwatts. 1,000 milliwatts is like or is like 4 times as far as 25 milliwatts. It's all logarithmic. So the difference between 25 and 500 is noticeable, but the difference between 25 and 800 is not much more noticeable than just 500. That's why I generally run these things at one power setting below their maximum. And the reason I do that is it's not going to push it as hard, it's not going to run as hot. Now, if I'm one of these guys that flies in underground bandos and I'm going to have 5 concrete and steel walls between me and the quad, yeah, I'm going to want every ounce of power that I have. Or if I'm flying around in a forest with tons of wet trees.
Yeah.
Mitch, the
battery life too is going to be longer because you're not drawing as much
sucking
power
up.
for your output.
Yeah, but compared to the motors, those things they draw minuscule. When you think about it, 200 to 300 milliamps is 200 to 300 milliamps over an hour. Mm-hmm. So during a 5-minute flight, even if you're drawing 300 milliamps, you're only drawing maybe 60, 70 milliamps of your 1500 milliamp battery to power your VTX at its highest levels. And if you turn it down, you might save 10 milliamps. But it's something you want to think about, I guess.
There's a reviewer, Gal. I forget it, something Kelmer. But anyway, he was measuring the outputs, and they don't really do what they say they do. And then they also go down after about a minute of flying. They
go down as they get hot. As they heat up, the power reduces. Keep in mind that all these guys, most of them are using the same immersion RC meter, same power meter. It's a red power meter. And a lot of guys have all kinds of adapters between the power meter and the actual quad. The pigtail that goes from the VTX to an SMA, and then maybe or it's reverse SMA, RP SMA, so they got an RP SMA to regular. Anyway, it looks like they got an inch of copper crap or brass screwed in there, and that itself is going to affect the power reading. And a lot of them actually do. I've seen a lot of these reviews actually do meet the power. Some of them, which are really cheap, garbage stuff. No, they're not going to. No name brand video cards that claim to be, one full watt and they cost $12. No, you
Probably not
definitely
happening.
find it. They're going to burn themselves up.
Just the amount of heat that it's going to produce.
Well, some of them, the bigger ones, they actually have heat sinks on them with fins.
Yeah.
They can, those video cards, you can burn your little fingers on those things.
Well, he gave the Rush a really good review, but he just, on one of the tests, he says it wasn't putting out that much.
Well, it's hard to say. I've
Explains
got
why
them
my
on.
video on Mobi 6 is so good. The Mobi 6 is supposed to be 25 milliwatts, but he tested it to like 60, or somebody tested it to almost 60 milliwatts.
It's possible. It's possible.
But it's supposed to be the 25. Bardwell made
so
a
DePaul
fool of
says
himself.
Bardwell made a fool of himself. Yeah, with those power meters. Well, I remember if one of the reviewers, and I don't remember. God, so many YouTube videos that I've watched. Over the time, they all blend in. But I actually did see one fairly sharp tech guy basically kind of said none of those reviews with that stupid power meter actually mean anything. Any of you guys that know RF at all and the electronics of transmission know that an improperly tuned antenna will kill anything that the radio's trying to put out. And unless you do standing wave measurements to know that your antenna is tuned perfectly, then you're not going to get an accurate reading on power. Brian, you look confused.
No
Muted.
audio. No audio.
I'm following all this really well because I know what you're talking about, Mitch. But okay, I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow, and I'm going FPV versus GPS, and you're making my case, dude. You're just making my
Hey, now,
case.
wait a second, Brian.
Okay, but wait a minute.
You know RF. In your line of business, you know about RF.
Yeah, used to
Yeah.
have.
So you know what a standing wave.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the point I'm getting at is
CB days. Yep.
this is it goes back to my original thing about flying drones. It's getting complicated with FPV, and I
Of
get
course it is.
It's the deeper into the hobby, and that's
what makes it so. That's what makes it so great.
I get it.
Is
I know.
all of this
I'm
stuff.
just waiting for Love My Drones to just jump down my throat at any second now.
But here's the thing. If DJI were to make an FPV drone that required no knowledge on the part of the user, and everything was done by plugging it into the computer or hooking it up to the internet, and it had all kinds of safe modes, and this is kind of what we think is coming from DJI, it will attract a certain type of individual, like a camera drone guy that doesn't want to have to learn anything, but once he'll never become a real FPV pilot. He'll become what Ed calls like a Miss Daisy FPV pilot, which he's accused me of being a few times.
John Krupe, he said something just now. FPV has actually gotten easier in the last 5 years. And that's true too, because I used to watch FPV stuff on TV. Remember the racing through the converted malls?
Mm-hmm.
And they would talk about their rigs, and I'm just going, you've got to be kidding me. The stuff that even y'all talk about sounds easier than what it was 5 years ago.
Oh, it is easier. And for example, on these quads that I just did for Carlos, on all the new flight controllers, they all came with Betaflight installed, but Betaflight 4.2.2 is out there, and the new firmware for the ESCs that has what they call bidirectional D-shot, which allows RPM filtering, all technical things that may not mean much to anybody, but what it does is it means that with all of that stuff at stock settings, the default settings that come with the newest version of Betaflight, just about any quad will fly perfectly without having to go out there for 2 weeks and try to, quote, tune the thing and get out the oscillations. And
yeah.
You saw those flights that I made. Well, you didn't see the third flight, but I had three quads where I replaced the flight controllers. One of them I replaced the motors, and all of them with the flight controllers got new ESCs. So basically, all the electronics that controlled flight was replaced. They were all flashed with the default version of 4.2.2 Betaflight. The ESCs were all flashed with the newest version of BL Heli and the 3.7.1, which has bidirectional D-shot, which lets the motors individually talk to the flight controller and transfer RPM information so that the flight controller knows at every instant how fast the motor's spinning, and it can filter vibrations at that frequency, at exactly the frequency of the motor. Okay, and the result was a quad that flew like somebody tuned it for 2 weeks. I could not get any prop wash oscillation out of it, and no matter how hard I threw it into a stop or a turn or anything, it just smooth. And that makes things a lot easier, but it's still a lot more difficult than flying a Mavic. That's for sure.
Here's the thing.
Quick hello to Mr. Baduga who joined us, Louis.
Hey, Baduga, how you doing?
You know,
Did I miss saying hi to anybody? Did I miss
I got you covered. I got you covered.
Okay, all right.
hey, where would you be without Carlos, Mitch? I'm telling you.
Carlos is my wingman, I'm telling you.
He's a good producer. He's like sitting out there keeping you on your toes.
He does. He that's his job.
You
What
know,
I get paid for. The bad snacks backstage. Go ahead, EMAC. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, but like you mentioned, flashing the drones like that. Okay, now you're talking lingo that I know about. You know, about trying to think of the computer side of it, where you flash a piece of hardware, so it basically updates the firmware. Yeah.
Yeah, DFU mode, device firmware update.
And that's what I'm saying, though. You know, a lot of people. This is what intimidates a lot of people to FPV. People are intimidated by computers. I'm not. I can do this stuff. But I know that so many people wouldn't even think of tearing apart a computer and finding that one bad resistor that I can find. Same thing with FPV. You know, you want the stuff to work.
Let me tell you my opinion about FPV. That may sound a little harsh, and some people may really be pissed off at me about it.
Uh-oh.
My opinion is the same as my opinion was in like RC turbine powered jets, which I flew. Okay, real turbine engines in model jet aircraft that went 250 miles an hour and ran on jet fuel and kerosene and had the potential to explode if you crashed them and burn down forests. Okay, we were not out trying. We in that hobby were not out trying to recruit every dumb moron RC pilot into saying, "Hey man, why don't you fly these RC jets?" We were telling them, "Stay away, man. These are not the drones you're looking for, Luke. You know, this is." and I carry a little bit of that into FPV. FPV, the way that you're flying chainsaws around at 100 miles an hour. I don't want these things in the hands of every kid that can run to Walmart and buy one of them. I want these things in the hands of people that care enough about learning what's involved, developing the skills to enjoy this hobby. And as a hobby, it's not a big hobby. It's a fairly small and obscure hobby.
You've definitely got a good point there, because I mean, the tech side of it would definitely intimidate someone who's like 18 or 19. You know, I get that, so that's a good thing. You know, you don't want.
But these kids that are interested, the kids that are interested in it and take the time to learn it and do really well at it.
And that's what I'm saying. You're going to get the nerds and the dedicated ones, but majority of the people out there, oh, drone, that looks like fun. Let me try it.
You know what I think happens? It looks like fun. They crash it and then it's done because
they're done.
It's harder than expected.
One FPV is more like the RC airplane hobby than the camera drone hobby is. You have to actually fly the things, you know, whereas the camera drones pretty much fly themselves. You just point them and push them around.
Mitch, question by Baduga.
Yeah.
Mitch, do you get bidirectional D-shot straight from BH Heli, even for BH Heli ESCs?
Yes. Okay. There's a new, and it says beta on it, but it works great. There's if you go into, we're talking about BL Heli S, because BL Heli 32 already has it, but BL Heli S which is what you find on most of the F4 flight controllers that we're using. In order to get bidirectional D-shot, you used to have to go to some third-party firmware guys like JESC and those guys. The actual BL Heli devs in version 3.7.1 have included bidirectional D-shot. So all you need to do is go into the configurator. It's real simple. Down at the bottom of the configurator, there's a button that'll say Flash All. You click that, a window will open up, and it'll allow you to select. It should have the actual firmware number, should have read the firmware number, 30 or 40 up there. And then there's a drop-down box, and you'll see 3.7.1, it says beta. Well, you tell it to flash that. It'll flash all 4 of your ESCs. Then, when you power up beta flight, you go into filtering and make sure you have RPM filtering enabled. And the way you can tell if it's all working is when you go into your motor tabs, over the top of each one of the little sliders, you'll see 2 numbers. Instead of just, you'll see RPM, and then you'll see an error percentage. And as you run your motors from there, you should see the RPMs of the motors showing up, and the error percentages should stay at 0. But now you have full bidirectional D-shot and RPM filtering. And I got to tell you, what a difference it makes. It's fabulous.
Okay, Ed, not Ed.
Hope I answered your question. Yes.
Sometimes you still need to go to JSC, unfortunately, says John.
No, not now. Not now, John.
Okay.
Not now. If you go Jazz Maverick. No. I'm not talking about Jazz Maverick or JESC. I'm talking about right there in the beta flight configurator, where you go to reverse your motor directions. You know, the purple configurator that you run as a Google app. Here, I'll get it up there for you.
And a quick hello to Mino Fly in Australia.
Hey, in Australia, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Mino?
Let me hang on a second. Keep him entertained.
You are keeping track of all this, Brian, aren't you?
Oh no! What I was going to say was, here very soon, when I purchase my next FPV drone, I'm getting Mitch's personal number.
Oh God, it's just
Well,
too much of that out there now.
Or I'm going to Florida for a couple weeks. I will find you, Mitch. We will sit.
Let me get.
I'm tempted to drive and pick up my drones.
That would be. Hey, Carlos, that'll save you a shitload of freight. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Mitch,
you just went blurry,
Brian,
Mitch.
open up. I know you're in there.
Oh, that's
Open
okay.
up the
That's
door,
how I
Mitch.
feel. That's how I feel. That's my camera. All right, what I want to do is I want
I'll just wait for him at the park.
I want to
You've got to show
plug
up
in
at
a
that park
quad
sometime.
here.
I know where the park is.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, this thing has got props on it, so I'm going to use
the little thingamajigger.
the little thingamajigger, and I already showed you how that'll keep you from chopping your arm off if for some reason the motors decide to run away on you in the house while you're playing with it. So I'm going to plug that in. It already.
Maybe don't put the props on the drone.
Nah, it's.
Agent K, why do I scare you? You're going around with a name like Agent K. I'm scared. I don't even know what that means.
He's a rapper.
We don't know anything about Agent K.
He's a rapper. He raps about drones. That's what I.
All right, hang on a second here. Let's plug this in and see what we get.
Where does Agent K live? Anybody know? States?
I think it's Russia.
Russia.
That's why it's Agent K.
Well, he had the word video spelled out in Russian there for a while.
That's what I'm saying. For the longest time, it was like Russian. So that's.
Okay, so what I got here is I got the BL Heli configurator, and I'm going to connect to it. I'm going to read my setup, okay? And then when you do this, you get these 4 ESCs in here, okay? Now you notice this says ESC C-H-40 1671. So if I want to flash these things with the and this has got the .71 on it, but let's just say I want to flash it. In fact, I'm going to flash all of these again just to show you. I would click down at the bottom here. Let me get myself out of the picture. Right down here at the bottom it says flash all. Okay, and up here it says it's a C-H-40, which it picked up from the ESC. Here it says pick the version. And this is 16.71 says official beta. That means it comes from the BL Heli devs, not from any third parties. And that's .71. So you'd select that, and then you just click flash. If you use that beta version, you will have bidirectional D-shot in it. Now I won't bother flashing them right now, but what I want to show you is I'm going to disconnect from this. I'm going to run. Oh shit! I clicked Velocidrone again. Why the damn? I see this icon for Velocidrone, and it looks like Betaflight. It doesn't really, but it's the same color. I always click it. Then it takes a week for it to open up. Sorry, guys.
See, I would have thought bidirectional D-shot was like another gender, maybe. Just
It might be.
I
We got
think
enough
it is.
genders now to keep track of.
It's not another gender. It's just a multi-gender.
Come on here. This thing,
fight
I do
time.
this and then I end up waiting for it to. I will come back to you guys until I'm done waiting for this to get off of my screen.
You know, there's a cure for that, Mitch. Put it on the opposite side for wherever you're working on.
Baduga says fly emu. You know, a lot of guys like emu. Let me see if I can just say close the window here. There it is. Okay. All right. Now it didn't close the window. What did I do?
Emu
There, I
sucks,
gotta-
fly, kiss. They're going back and forth. I like it. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I there's so many of them. I tried Flight 1 and I wasn't real thrilled
Wasn't
with it.
impressed.
I want more control over the setup than that other thing. Okay, let me get Betaflight cooking here, and get us back over to this side, and it'll take a second. This will come up with a COM port, and
Finally,
I'll connect.
something I know.
Okay, now when I go into PID tuning, and I go to filter settings, right down here. RPM filter over here is turned on. See it?
Yeah.
Not off, but that's turned on. Okay, and that way when I go into the motors tab, what I see right here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's two entries now above the slider. All right, one of them says R, which is RPM. The other says error, and it's in percent. Well, you won't see that unless everything is configured for bidirectional D-shot and RPM filtering. Now, I can't run the motors up now because I have props on them and I have a current limiter on them. But if I run the props up, you'll see it. Each one of these motors will show you the RPM reading from that motor. And you want to make sure that your error stuff is in 0. And if you have the combination of that .71 firmware flashed on your ESCs, and you have RPM filtering enabled in the later versions of Betaflight, then this is what you'll see on the motors tab, and you can test it. And you will have RPM filtering, and all I can tell you in my experience, there's no comparison, especially when it comes to things like prop wash oscillation and stuff like that. So anyway, that's this is supposed to be Sunday night stuff, but we got the crowd here tonight, so we'll talk.
Hey, Mitch, can I
about it
ask you a
tonight.
question about the controller?
Yes.
The transmitter. On your left throttle stick, if you leave the stick alone, will it stay in the same position? Like, is there a tightness?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, it is. It will. It's not
Good.
real tight, but it doesn't move by itself. And
Cool.
speaking of moving by itself,
Uh-oh.
There he
There
is.
he is.
hold on. He's going to hold that pose until. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Hi, Art.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Art.
Carlos.
Good
Art.
evening, Art.
Hey.
Mitch, question. On this new drone I ordered from Banggood. Well, this has been going
Oh,
on.
no.
It's got 16 motors on it. How do I tune it? It only shows 8 on Betaflight.
You were the guy that fell for that hoax on Banggood, huh?
Hey, Tomas.
Well, if 8 motors is good, 16's got to be better.
Never,
Really?
never buy from Banggood if you can help it. Well, I don't know.
Oh, hey, listen, guys. Come on. I buy a lot
bought
of
some
stuff from
batteries from
Banggood.
them.
I was gonna say I got my Tinyhawk from them. What?
I
long
get
would
a
it
lot
take
of
you to
stuff
get
from
it?
them.
How
Takes
long
3
would it-
weeks.
Forever. 3
Well,
weeks.
Okay.
I ordered, okay, listen, I ordered my new radio, the Radio Master TX16S. Okay.
There you go.
I ordered it on September the 4th. It shipped on September the 5th. And when I checked the tracking, and what you get on the tracking is you get a USPS thing that says label created, USPS awaiting shipment. And it's somewhere in this country. In my case, it was from Georgia, where it says. Okay, so on the 5th of September, which was 12 days ago, it left China. Today, it was received in Georgia. It will be delivered to me on Saturday morning.
Awesome.
So from
That's probably you have connections somehow.
from the
you buy
5th
so much stuff.
to the 20th is a day or two over 2 weeks it took to get that, and that's the same thing. That's the same length of time it took for me to get the last shipment from them. So I've been having pretty good luck with
That's
old Banggood.
impressive.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
a Florida thing.
I don't
That's not
know.
usually the case, and if there is an issue, that's the worst part.
I've
the email,
I got to
right?
tell you, I've even had good luck resolving issues. I've had one time I didn't get it, never showed up, got lost. Evidently, what had happened was that it got sent back from some customs place or something, and on their help page they have a live chat box. Okay, you can't talk to them on the phone. You don't want to email them. You get on that live chat, and somebody comes right on. And after about 15 minutes on that live chat, they just gave me a refund. That was it. I got the refund the next day in PayPal. No problem.
You get charged custom charges from.
No customs charges whatsoever.
Wonderful.
Not in this country. Some other countries do. I'm sure Canada probably slaps their 400% on top of it.
Ireland and Tomas, that's why Tomas is asking, because he gets charged with stuff that he's gotten in.
Oh
It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
Europe does. But for here in America, not only don't we
Yeah.
get customs, but we don't get sales tax either,
Yeah.
which is great. If I buy something from
Special.
Race Day Quads or Get FPV, which are in Florida,
Tax.
I always have to pay sales tax.
And they're asking for a tip now too.
Yeah.
For job.
If I buy something from Amazon, on a very rare occasion, I'll get charged tax. But in most cases, not.
We get taxed here in California.
Well,
No
that's
matter what it
California,
is.
man. Keep electing these politicians and see what happens
Not this guy.
Yep.
You're barking up the wrong tree here.
Go ahead and fire them up, Mitch.
I'll go out and buy a brand new rope and take it up there to him. See if he wants to use it.
to you. Ye shall reap what ye sow, as the Bible says.
Elections have consequences.
Baduga
You
says, last order I made never showed up. Got a refund, but it took him 90 days.
Well,
Ooh,
So I don't know, Mitch. You're lucky because I didn't have a good situation.
I'm lucky because I know Art Carlson, and some of his luck has rubbed off on me.
Maybe, yeah.
Hey, Mitch, I got to head
who
out.
wait a
else?
second. Start rubbing my hand, Art. I
Yeah,
need
right.
some luck.
The other
No,
way.
the other way, Art. There you go. Okay.
There we go.
All right,
Yeah, the
Brian.
other
Thanks
day
for coming in,
I
buddy.
was eating
Not a problem, man. I enjoyed it.
dinner.
All right, man. Good to see you. Don't be a stranger.
I won't
Yeah,
be.
take care, man.
I'll take
Adios.
it easy. Bye.
Take care.
Mitch, did you get your Tyro
Bye-bye,
129
Brian.
from Banggood? They're
Oh,
asking.
oh, yeah, that's the only place you can get them, I think.
Okay.
I think maybe they may have some deals with some distributors, but primarily that's a Banggood product. It's made by Eachine for them exclusively, I think.
Wow.
Speaking of exclusive, look who we have back.
He's back.
Hey,
Where'd you
we
go,
have
Chris?
freestyle.
today.
We were worried about you.
Oh, it cut off the right spot. Y'all didn't want to hear me cuss and fuss driving through Fort Worth from Dallas.
Oh, okay. Probably just as well.
Just as well.
You headed home now, Chris?
Hey, Steve, how you doing, buddy? Art, how you doing?
Are you headed home, Chris?
Yep, headed home, Steve. I got
Oh,
another
good.
probably an hour and a half to go.
Holy cow! You do that every day?
No, sir. No, this is I usually go out of town once a month for a couple of days. This one I've been out of town since Sunday. Just one of them deals.
So so you guys like my hat, or you like me better without a hat? What do you think?
I like you without a hat, unless you have like a Frenchy beret or something like that. Something a little bit. That's I don't know.
Well, I didn't want to show off these god awful scabs that I got on my forehead, so that's why I'm wearing the hat.
You got an excuse.
Hey,
It's
how about a
definitely
bandana?
warmer.
A bandana.
It's definitely
Like a
warmer.
biker?
Yeah, I could do like
a biker.
what's his name?
Get you the right
Oh, I'll be right back.
Stop threatening us, Art. I think a bandana would be a good look.
Hey, Carlos, you mean like a Ben Hogan tile?
Yep, that too. That's a cat. I call that the taxi.
Oh, those are
hat.
cool. I like those. I like those kind of hats. Makes you look 10 years older than you really are.
Yeah. The Greek people like those too sometimes, right? The Greek men.
I had a Greek sailor's
Ireland.
cap I used to wear.
Ireland and Scotland.
Ireland,
they
too.
wear 'em.
Yeah.
That's where this came from.
Steve.
What's that?
Pepe Le Pew, Steve Carpenter.
Pepe Le Pew. You know,
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew now would be like considered a sexual pervert. The way he was grabbing on the other skunk without her permission. Are you kidding me? Who knows what that led to with children. Oh no!
PC.
What is this?
Looks like he's going fishing.
He looks like a reject, like what do we call that? Oh, never mind. Army guy there.
Oh man, this was worth coming in here just to see this, man. Wasn't it, guys? Wasn't it worth coming here tonight just to see that?
Art?
Yeah.
Cool, Art. Oh man.
I got this hat in the Philippines.
What were you doing in the Philippines?
I was there to see my girlfriend.
You have
Art's got girlfriends all over the Philippines.
Now she's my ex-girlfriend, but her brother gave me this hat, and I'm the godfather to his son, oldest son.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
So, hey, John Coopy, I sent you a link. Why don't you get in here?
Yeah,
You come in and join us, young man.
in.
Aren't you tired of typing now? Come on,
Come
man.
on in, John.
Well, I tell you, it's like pulling teeth to get these guys to come into my live stream. They're coming to everybody else's live stream, but
Is Mino fly out of here? No.
Mino Fly's still here. Yeah, he said hi to us. Beduga is not a Tyro fan, although I'll tell you, I have 4 or 5 of those Tyro things, and they're not Cadillacs of quads, but somehow they all manage to fly, and
Good enough to get up in the air and have fun.
they're not bad, and especially, you know which one of them is I like the Tyro 129s because I got 2 of them, but I put INAV on them. You know, and they're really a lot of fun to fly with INAV. Yeah, I have INAV on both of them. Yeah, okay. And you know, it's kind of cool because you can fly it around FPV ripping, and if somebody wants to talk to you, you just park it in the air just like a Mavic. It'll just sit there and wait for you. You put it in position hold and altitude hold, and it'll just sit there waiting for you. You get tired of flying, your eyes are tired in the goggles. You just click the return to home button and
looks good.
Wait
Chris.
for it, just like a Mavic. It'll fly back and land right where it took off. So.
RC Fun Diversion likes his Tyro 129.
Yeah, and that little Tyro 89. Ever since I replaced the VTX with that 350 milliwatt little Rush Tiny Tank, that is one of my favorite little quads. That thing is such a little rocket ship.
And you don't realize faster, that one or the Tinyhawk race, or they're in the same boat?
I think the Tyro might be faster.
A little faster, yeah.
But yeah, it's just a little ripper, and it feels very light when you're flying it too. I like it. And cheap, $89 kit. You build it up, and of course I like to build. So I shouldn't have told you that, Carlos, because look what you got me into.
Size.
I took months before I bothered you. It took me a long time to actually.
It's okay. I've enjoyed it, and it's given me some content for my channel.
Actually, Mitch, here's a question. Not trying to take advantage of your wonderful building skills, but even Drone Day says that he could send you parts to make some quads. He said to make some whoops. He said you can make 4 and keep 1. And give 1 to him. Me, no, not interested if he gives you the parts.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that. No.
Figured I'd throw it out there.
It's just too much. It's just too much work, especially with that tiny little stuff. That just gives me headaches trying to work with those tiny little whoop things. I'd rather work on the 5 inches. 3-inch ones are okay, but
those tiny whoops are hard to work on.
I didn't understand a word of that, Art.
Did Art just fart?
Yeah, out of his mouth. All right, little people are not going to like that voice. I'm just telling you. It's just
why not?
Because it's like making fun of him.
No, it isn't. It's
you don't think so? Every time I hear it, I think of the Wizard of Oz, little people. I don't know.
Well, they made a whole movie with them in there. Today they might revolt, but they didn't revolt back then.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was back when people had a sense of humor. Remember those days?
Right.
What's that?
When you could ride
sense
a bike
of humor. Remember that? Remember what that was?
What's that? It's been so long. I don't
Oh yeah,
remember.
that's right. California. It's illegal.
California. You guys lost your sense of humor ages ago out there. Just look at the nighttime TV shows. At the guys you got running the Tonight Show and all that stuff. None of those guys are funny anymore. They're all victims. They're all angry about something all the time.
Comedy is gone.
Yeah.
Same way news is gone.
Well,
Well, Dave Chappelle did a good one. Like an HBO special. I don't know if you saw
funny
that.
Guys. Yeah, some of the old guys. Those are the funny ones. Like Chappelle and.
What was the name of that guy? Do you remember Schumacher?
Craig
Shoemaker. Yeah. He was good. I liked him.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the guy that did the football routine? Is that whose name I was trying to remember?
No, he did.
Art, who did the routine with the foot? The guy came out with the football helmet on sideways.
Okay.
What was his name?
He was in a mad world. Buddy Hackett.
No, that wasn't who I'm talking about. No. The guy who did the football routine, he's the guy who said, "The mind is a terrible thing, and it must be stopped in our lifetime." He did a 10-minute diatribe as a moron football player. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I got to find out who it was.
Well, if that's the case, Mitch,
Jim Gaffigan.
If that's the case, Mitch, they've done it. They've killed the mind.
Brian Regan is funny. You know him, right, Art? Brian Regan? Yep. And he's good because these guys don't curse. They don't need to curse to be funny. They're actually clean.
Bob Nelson.
Bob
Nelson. Bob Nelson football routine. Funniest stand-up act ever.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound familiar, Bob Nelson.
Oh my God. I'm gonna put a link into the YouTube video in the chat.
Yeah,
here.
I just found it myself.
You guys have got to watch this routine. This is the most classic thing that has ever. It is. It wasn't billed wrong when it says the funniest stand-up act ever, and I can't play it on here, but I can show you who Bob Nelson is.
Oh, I remember him now.
Yeah. Let me get to the point where he's dressed up in the football outfit. Here.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Don't remember that one, Art.
You have balloons?
There he is. Yeah, this is. I'm trying to get a picture of what. There, that's what he looks like. And this is a long time ago. I mean, this is old stuff.
That's probably back in the 80s, maybe.
Yeah. But Bob Nelson, I couldn't remember that to say.
Yeah.
It shows you how amazing Google is. I just typed football comedy, football
there you
player
go,
comedy, and it was the second, and it came up at the second entry right there on the first page. Yeah,
Bill Burr.
Is you got to watch it. I put the link in the chat. But that was comedy. That was comedy. They would probably execute him in the public square today for that routine, because he probably, if they'd be calling him sexist, racist, every name under the book for that, and it was funny.
Probably funny. Yeah, exactly.
Bill Burr, RC Fundsniver says, anyone like Bill Burr? I love Bill Burr because he just says it like it is. he's completely and totally unfiltered.
Is that the one that talks about women and slapping them?
He talks about everything. He does guided tours of cities too. He's got an amazing.
Right? Redheaded.
No, he's bald. I think.
But he's light.
He's got a YouTube presence that's unfriggin' believable. He's got 1 million YouTube videos.
I like Brian Regan, Jim Gaffigan. They're all good. John Panette was good. Poor guy died.
John Panette. I never liked Gaffigan that much. Gaffigan.
No.
Wishy-washy.
Oh my word! There's no way that could be playing today on television.
How about Robert Schimmel? I've worked with him.
Robert Schimmel was funny, but who was the one that was really funny? Bobby Collins.
I worked with him too.
Bobby Collins.
Oh God.
He was on the inside. Remember that, Art? On the inside. Remember that joke? On the inside? Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd say,
there was another comic, Bobby Gaylord, that had a bumper sticker called "Scratch a Rat with a Brick."
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was a while ago, but there were some funny.
Bobby Collins. I used to love his stuff, and that routine he did. He would stand up there and he would say, "My wife asked me to take out the trash. I said, take out the goddamn trash yourself on the inside. On the outside, yes, dear, I'll take out the trash."
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
On the inside, yeah. Now that was comedy, though. That was funny. Mm-hmm. That was funny.
Oh, who's the other guy?
Because it was true. It was true. It's the way we all thought. We all thought that.
Yep.
And it was real. And you can't do that stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's what gets me in trouble. I say what I think, and I say what people think that don't want to say it.
You know, you're gonna.
George Carlin is good.
That's the best way to be, Carlos. Whatever's on your mind, say it. If it pisses people off, then they're not the people that want to be in your world, evidently.
Yeah. I'm just not good at PC or just.
No shit.
I just say I had a little trouble. Trying to get down here. That child safety seat was stuck in my ass.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that line. I saw that routine. Right? I saw a few of your routines. Some of them were pretty good.
With that plastic deck head in the way.
And what was going on with that blonde hair? Huh? Who did that to you? Did you do that to yourself? You had it done. Your blonde hair.
Oh yeah. I had a couple times I had somebody do it for me, and then I did it myself. I had perm once.
A perm?
And there's a photo of me somewhere around. No, it wasn't. It was more curly than
like with an afro. Sorry.
But I have a headshot of me with my permed hair and my cheesy little mustache.
Can you find it? Any chance? Do you have it?
God, it is somewhere on my computer. It'd take me forever to find.
Okay.
But,
I used to have a fro.
Did you
really
have the pick in my hair? I had curly hair when I was
You had a pick in your hair also? No kidding.
You bet, baby.
Did it have one of those like the
black curly with the forks and
Yeah.
put it in?
Yep.
Yeah. Did it
Oh,
have
man,
the
Steve,
handle?
you've gotta
the
find it.
power hand. The handle
No.
had that. No, okay.
You got to find a picture of that, Steve. You got to find a
Lo-
picture of
Lo-
that for us.
Lloyd used to have one too.
No.
Lloyd.
Lloyd used to have a fro. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Lloyd he still has really curly hair. Yep.
That's interesting.
Chris, you
then
and I
there
don't
was
have to
Chris
worry
who
about
just
that,
had
buddy.
hair. No.
Chris and I don't have to worry about any of that. Not anymore.
Now it only goes curly this way.
Yeah,
Look like Bozo.
yeah, like those. That's right.
Well, there's.
I get wavy. I have wavy hair, and if my hair gets long, it just waves, just curls up like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the same way, Mitch. I keep it like this 'cause I don't want people to see my real hair.
No, that's what it is. I see.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh,
There's
well,
three kinds of
that's
hair.
why
There's
I grew
hair
the-
parted.
that's
There's
what-
hair parted on the side. There's hair parted in the middle, and there's Chris, where it's hair departed.
Before I started flying a drone, I had hair.
Yeah.
We all had hair. When I was a kid, my hair was so wavy in the front that I had to glue it down with all that Brill cream
Brill
crap.
cream.
Remember that? Yeah, because otherwise it just waved. It was absurd. It was when it went away, I was almost relieved. You know,
Brill cream, dippity doo.
Yeah,
What else was
a
it?
little dabble, do you? Remember that?
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
this. I still
My
hear them
dad
singing
was
the slogan.
Vitalik guy.
Vitalis hair tonic.
Yeah, but
Party.
Yep.
Oh,
and
Vitalis.
boy would smell like that all day.
Oh, that was horrible stuff.
I haven't
Yeah.
heard
But that
song.
wasn't greasy. That wasn't greasy
No.
like pomade. Remember the pomade that they used to use? In a can, you used to dip your hands in that.
Yeah.
gooey slap it on your head. Jerry Lewis is like Jerry
yeah.
Lewis back in the day was like the poster child for pomade. His hair was so shiny all the time. It looked like it was glued in place with epoxy resin, you know.
Yeah, they did have a lot of slicked hair, and they had that little like curly thing in the front. Do you remember that? That like curl.
Oh yeah, that ducktail.
Maybe that was
It's called.
60s or something. I don't know. 70s.
It's called a DA.
The DA was in
The
the
DA,
back.
yeah.
Duck's tail.
The big
Duck's
one in
ass.
the
No,
back.
sorry, duck's ass. That was in the back, not in the front.
Uh-huh.
I remember the DAs. Do you remember marshmallow
Yeah.
shoes? Maybe you guys are a little too old for that one. Chris might
I don't remember that. I don't
Marshmallow.
remember
How
that.
about Earth? How about Earth shoes, where the front
Oh,
was
I
higher
had
than the
Those
back?
Yeah,
those
they
I
were-
remember.
they
That
were
was from
high
the
in
Woodstock.
Yeah,
That
they
was
were
from the
higher in the
Woodstock
front.
era.
That's right.
Yep.
Cisco worked well.
I had a pair
Crisco.
of the red
Crisco, yeah. That worked in your hair.
What was that, Chris?
What'd you say, Chris? Chris,
We
what
didn't
did you
hear
say?
that, Chris.
I'm sorry.
What was your last comment?
Oh, I was just saying I had a pair of the old original red, white, and blue Nikes, 80s.
Red, white, and blue. Who?
Nikes.
Oh, Nikes.
They first started
Uh,
making.
Wow. Remember what was the name of
Pro Kids. PF Flyers.
Converse high
Yep,
tops.
I had those.
Converse.
Cats.
Yeah.
Chuck Taylor.
You remember
Needed-
cats?
Pro Kids. They used to make you run fast
Yeah.
to jump
I
high.
remember
Yep.
the
remember
the
the
high
commercial.
Converse. That
Some
was
kid
what you
running
needed.
through the forest in his Pro Kids, and I wanted to be
Converse?
that kid.
They had the high Converse. The high
High top.
Converse.
Converse
High
shoes
Converse.
today are ridiculous of how much they cost.
They still make them?
Yeah.
Converse, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, I
Pumas.
used to wear Van shoes.
Vans.
Oh yeah, Vans, sure.
Yeah,
That's those are
the black and
skateboards.
white checked ones.
I would
Oh,
go out
wow.
in
I used to
public
wear
with those.
And then I would buy the white ones, and I'd take them to. This is when we still had malls. Down the hall, there was a guy that airbrushed T-shirts and I mean just about everything. I said, "Here, do something with these," and he made like leopard shoes. They had leopard spots on.
And you walked in public with that.
Really cool, and I used to wear those on stage. And then I had another one that looked like it had tiger stripes on it. So
Interesting.
that was pretty cool.
You'd
probably
wear-
would've
you'd
got
wear-
along
you
with
wear
Ellen
those today,
DeGeneres.
and you'd be hauled outside, beaten to a pulp.
Oh, give you something a little unusual about Colorado. our illustrious governor of Colorado appointed this person to the Ag Commission. She's a member of PETA.
No kidding.
Oh, she says that raising cattle is like rape.
Like rape?
Yeah.
Rape.
Oh, Jesus. What's the matter with people?
Well, no more hamburgers for you, guy.
There goes the
Raising
cost of
cattle.
meat.
Did he say raising cattle's like rape? Is that what he said?
That's what he said. Yep.
That's what the agriculture commissioner from Colorado thinks.
Yeah, she's a member of PETA.
Member of
She's an idiot.
PETA.
Animal lover.
Yeah, well, my son, most hunters have a different name for PETA. It's people
Yeah.
eating tasty animals.
That's
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
Mike R. Media is saying hello, Mitch.
Hey, Mike Roche, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mike.
Michael. Hello, sir.
Be back. All right, watch the chat. I'll be right back. Please.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat. It looks like it's Erwin's birthday, EBR. Happy birthday, my friend.
Yeah, that's right. I
Happy
said
birthday.
happy birthday.
Monday's
to him.
my birthday. Don't forget, I take
We don't
American
care.
Express. I
We
know.
don't care.
I'll be right back.
Nobody cares, Carl. Nobody
hear
gives
you.
it. Nobody cares.
Go get
I
your
know.
drink. Go get your foo-foo drink.
Cuckoo drink.
Foo-foo. One with the umbrella in it.
Oh yeah.
Hey, there's some good drinks that come with umbrellas, man, if you can make it the right place. You just throw the umbrella and you get a good made Mai Tai.
So Carlos, you really? Oh, he's gone. I was going to talk to Carlos, and he's gone. Okay.
Yep.
Let's
Be
see
that
if
way.
you'll be right back.
All right.
You know, one bad thing about being short is grocery shopping.
Really?
I always have to ask some nice old lady, ma'am, could you reach that for me? Yeah, the condoms?
Yeah.
Yes, the magnums, please.
That's TMI.
Yeah. Extra large. Right?
Oh, and then I take them to the cashier, and she says I'll be $10.95 with tax. With tax? You mean these things don't stay on by themselves?
Oh, all right. The first one was good.
Thank you, Mitch.
I know that was called for. The show has gone to hell, guys, and we got 25 minutes to
Well,
go.
I got to bring some humor in.
You do, Art. You always do.
Did I miss something?
I was going to ask you, Carlos, were you serious about driving down to Florida to get your quads?
I'm thinking about it. I just got to figure out the amount of days off. Either that or just get a one-way. I don't know. I have to figure it out. I'd like to. I really would like to go there and stay there for a few days, hang out with you, hang out with
And
Ed,
fly?
hang
Yeah,
out
fly.
with my son. Yeah,
Well, do it.
I want
Yeah.
to.
I got this. I went, Carlos,
Yes,
you
sir.
see this?
Oh, the box. Yeah. Wow.
Look at the
that. That's a
size.
bigger
Look at
one.
the size of this. This is called a large mailing box. It's a priority mailbox.
That
from
one's bigger than the one I gave you,
USPS.
right? Or I sent you.
It's twice the size of what you sent me.
Yeah.
At any rate, this is all ready for. I'm getting ready for the return trip. for
Gotcha.
you. So
There you go.
Let's see.
Mitch,
Give me a 24-hour
can you
notice
send me-
just in case.
Can you send me one of those filled with a bunch of gold bars in it?
gold bars. Oh, sure. Email me your address and it'll be on the way right to you.
Gold is almost $2,000 an ounce these days. I don't know if you're paying attention to that.
Yeah.
It was only like 1,400 6 months ago.
Well,
That's where I was
think the
joking.
coronavirus, the business is kind of put although the stock market is at record highs lately, but
And nobody's working. That's pretty amazing that they're not connected.
Oh, I looked at the currency exchange. The Filipino peso, $46, 46 to $1.
now is that good, bad, or what did it used to be?
What can I
was
buy
as
with
high as
46 pesos?
52.
What can you buy with 46 pesos? Can you get a cup of coffee?
No, probably not.
Quite a bit more. That's 1,100 pesos for a cup of coffee is like $1 over there. Or cheaper. I mean, everything is cheap over there. But, Yeah, when the peso gets smaller, it gets more expensive for us. When it gets bigger, it's cheaper for us.
You better take
The
a
last
look.
time I went to the Philippines, it was like 48 and change.
You know, when I was stationed in Germany back in the late 60s, the exchange rate was 4 marks to the dollar.
Wow.
Over the last 15 or 20 years, it's been closer to 1.25 to 1.5 marks.
Yeah, because of
To the
the
dollar.
euro.
Yeah, and that meant that our money was so powerful in Germany.
Yep.
We could buy stuff on the German economy because of that exchange rate for half of what less than half of what the real price was. And we were paying,
25%.
and gasoline back in those days in Germany was $4 or $5 a gallon, even back in the 60s. And
Wow.
as GIs, as American servicemen, we bought gasoline coupons and paid 17 cents a gallon for gas. So we would drive all over the place. I drove all over Europe when I was stationed over there because the gasoline was, for all intents and purposes, free.
Cheap.
It was great. I'll never forget I'll never forget this, and it was the biggest mistake of my life. When I was stationed in Turkey in 1967 in a field station 23 miles to the northeast of Ankara, the capital, and we had a base base exchange on our little base up there in the hills, and they were selling back then Rolex stainless Oyster perpetual watches for $165.
Oh wow!
And I didn't know what, I was 21 years old. 20 years old. I didn't know what the hell a Rolex was, or what you know. It just looked like a plain old stainless steel watch to me, so I didn't buy any of them. I should have bought 1,000 of them.
What are they worth now?
Oh, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Yep.
Especially if the vintage ones, maybe even more. If you get a vintage, you get a 50-year-old Rolex, brand new in a box, it's going to be worth a lot of money.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
I think the most valuable ones are the Daytonas, though. The Rolex Daytonas, I think, are the ones that, I think they're the ones that
Exactly.
that really have gone up in value. But still, just for a plain old basic Oyster Perpetual stainless for $165, it was incredible. And what were we buying? We were young kids. We were buying stereos and tape decks and all kinds of crap that was worthless about
a Timex.
Yeah, it was worthless about 2 weeks after you bought it, you know.
Mitch, do you wear a watch usually?
No, I don't wear. I have watches, but I stopped wearing a watch years ago.
Chris, you wear a watch? Chris,
You know, I've got a nice dress watch, but when iPhones come out, that's what I use now.
Yeah. Art, you
I've
wear a
got
watch
some
during
beautiful.
Right here.
the day? You do? How about you, Steve? You're a watch wearer? You also?
Steve's a watch wearer. Ever since these things had a clock in them, and I really stopped working. I just decided. I tried one of those. I have it in the other room. One of the smartwatches, a Samsung
really?
one. Yeah,
Right.
and it's okay. It was okay, but I just got used to not having that thing on my arm.
Yeah.
And after a lifetime of wearing watches, when I put it on now, it bothers the hell out of me for some reason.
Same
I was
thing
going
with
to say,
jewelry.
Mitch, you better take a look at the stock market. It went down 131 points
Yep,
today
that's
on
right.
the Dow, and the Nasdaq was down 140.
That's nothing.
Well, it should. You know, my son's a money manager guy, and he's telling me that the market is so overvalued right now. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand what's going on, and he's
I know what's
he's
going on.
praying. He's praying for a big drop so that he can, because they got a lot of money on the sidelines right now. They
the
want to get it back
the
to
Fed
work.
is propping up the market.
Well, the Fed has pretty much said that there's going to be zero interest rates for the next 3 years. 0%
One of that, but
for
they're
the next
buying
3
junk
years.
bonds. They're making money
Yep.
cheap, and it's not good. That's just killing our
And-
dollar.
And our treasury's giving away $2-3 trillion at a whack because of this
Yeah.
COVID thing. So
Now
I don't know
they're
how
working
long
on another stimulus, and we may get 2 stimulus checks.
yeah, hey, I'm all for it.
We
man,
might get one in.
Listen, that austerity is for everybody else, not me.
Yeah.
Correct? When it comes to everybody else, I can tell them what to do, but when it comes to me, I'll take the money. That's how most people. That's how most people are.
Yeah.
At least we're not hypocrites about it here.
It's just
Hey,
the
yeah,
thing
Chris,
that that
What do
money.
you have in front of your camera, Chris?
Yeah,
money
What's
doesn't
blocking
come
you
you?
got something in front of the camera.
Chris, you have a
can't see
paper in front of your camera,
beautiful
Chris.
mug. Yeah,
I
there
wouldn't
you
go
go.
that far.
Yep.
Hey, Chris, it's not often you get 4 people to ride home with you.
Yeah.
Hey, man. we run at 75 miles an hour down US Highway 175, so y'all hang on.
Cool.
I
I'll get a
wish.
speeding ticket on my live stream. Be careful.
Hey, if you'll pay
Hey,
it, I'm
from this.
Do we have to put seatbelts on as passengers?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. We got a live stream going 75 miles an hour down a Texas highway.
Actually, in Florida, do your passengers have to have seatbelts?
Oh yeah,
They do,
of
right?
course.
I think the
Oh,
front
yeah.
seat. I'm not sure about
And if they don't, does the passenger get a ticket, not the driver?
I don't know.
Because here
How
I think
often
the passenger
that-
gets the ticket. If it
I
was
don't know
to
how
happen.
often cops will actually pull over somebody and give them a passenger a ticket for not having a
Yeah.
seatbelt. I think they probably would give the pilot, the driver, the ticket, like the pilot in command. Is responsible, the captain of the aircraft.
I guess.
Yeah, he's the one in trouble.
He's the one who's going to, yeah.
55
Yeah,
miles
you're-
per hour here. You can't do 75 anywhere. I wish.
You're-
Well, not legal.
Yeah, you're right, Mitch, and that's the problem. The market hasn't had a correction since the president took office.
Well,
it's
it-
been
It
going
had a
up and
1,000-point
and
correction.
the drops have not.
It had that big V. It
January.
had that big V
but it
thing
wasn't
that
a
happened
correction. It was
for
not.
No, I
COVID.
know.
No, it was a panic sell-off. Is
It
what
was,
it was.
yeah, it's a little
And,
emotional.
But
No, the market
you know,
is ridiculous.
But the market is a casino, and often operates on what they call the bigger fool theory. You heard that, Steve?
Yep.
The bigger fool theories. I know I'm a fool to pay this much for this stock, but I know there's some
another
bigger
bigger
fool
one.
that'll pay me more for it tomorrow. So the value of it actually has little relevance. I can buy it for this, but I can sell it for more.
And it's
that's
not
why
a
they call it
gauge.
the bigger fool theory.
It's not a gauge of the U.S. economy. People think the market
Well,
is the gauge of the U.S.
stocks aren't valued based on the U.S. economy. Stocks are valued based on the
Perceived.
performance of the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know,
the
but they
PE
think
price.
people think because the stock market is good, the economy's good, and they're not. They're not.
No, not
connected.
necessarily.
No, not at all.
There are
Yeah.
companies. There are companies out right now, however, that are doing famously. Anybody in the face mask business, anybody in
yeah.
the toilet paper business. The big retailers are doing great right now, and those stocks drive the market too. But the PE ratio, 18 to 20 is what used to be considered an appropriate price to earnings ratio for a stock.
Now they're up in the 50s and 70s. Right?
150, 100, 200. And back in the dot-com days, they were infinite because the companies weren't making any money. They were losing money. You can't have a PE when you have no earnings.
Well, that's the thing.
But
Netflix was losing money, and their stock keeps going up. Bob
Right,
Casey
but
said
because
hello, by the way.
People were betting
Brother
on
Bob, hello.
future earnings.
Right.
Hey, Bob Casey,
Hello,
how
Bob.
you doing, buddy?
That was like a snowflake that came out today. You see when it went up and it closed out?
No,
What,
I'd
the
heard
market?
about that.
The market.
No, snowflake. They're
Oh.
they're technically a cloud-based data provider that came into the market. They've been around for a while and they've built that stuff up. And what's his name?
Buffett? No.
Buffett went in
Buffett,
there with,
yeah.
I don't know, like 200 million that they were going to put into it. So they were saying don't pay above $50 a share or anything. It opened up at like 200 and something a share.
It's gambling. It's a casino.
It's going to go down.
The markets,
It'll go down.
the markets are casino.
Yep. It's
I
crazy.
used to do that when I went to Vegas. I used to tell people I'm going to go invest in a crap game. I never said gamble. I said I'm going to invest. I'm going to invest in a
There
crap
you
game.
go.
Nope.
Well, when you go to Vegas, if you come back in your pocket with what you went with, you're a winner.
Oh, no doubt. Breaking even in Vegas, if you can have a good time while you're there, is definitely
Right.
winning.
I've never been there. Is it any good?
And I
Vegas?
like these
Nice
people.
place?
You know what? Vegas is so easy to get tired of. If you go to once the first time, it's going to take your breath away. You know, you're going to walk around like Alice in Wonderland. But I had to go every year for conventions every friggin' year. I got to the point where I just despised that town and everybody in it. That town is engineered to do one thing: remove your money from your pocket without you knowing it.
That's why it's called lost wages.
That's right. And people who go to Las Vegas thinking they're going to beat them just need to walk up and down the strip and look at the fancy buildings and figure out who paid for all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
We used to go there. My dad would close down his business, and we used to go there for Thanksgiving weekend. And we would leave Wednesday night, and we'd drive out there. Now, when I'm talking Las Vegas, Mitch, you'll understand, coming from the Orange County area, you would leave Riverside, and from Riverside, the last stoplight, the next stoplight was Las Vegas on the old 2-lane highway going out there before the interstates and everything would go in there. And we would go there for the 4 days, and my dad would be up all night, and then sleep during the day for a few hours, get up, and then go out again and be gambling all night. And he'd come back tired, but he would come back like this totally mentally refreshed inside, invigorated person from when he came back. He would be physically tired, but mentally recovered by going out there. And, going there over through the years, and I've worked out there, it's a sad thing to say, but it was one of the best times I had. It was 9/11. The week after, I went over there to take care of a project at one of the big hotels there, and got there, drove into town. I made it from getting off the freeway at the very beginning because I wanted to drive the strip all the way downtown. I did it in 4 minutes and 30 seconds from end to end.
That's unusual.
Oh, there's no one there. Every place was closed. Any of the major hotels and everything, they'd laid off half their people. And the restaurants were shut down on the inside, and I'm trying to think a couple of the other. Well, Caesar's Palace is where I was working, but we were staying at another location, and they have 30-some restaurants in the place. 2 were open on any one day, and that was it.
Wow.
Hey, Chris. Uh-oh.
Chris Hope.
Chris. I'm going to mute Chris anyway, because what's happening is the road noise. I can't even mute him. Why won't it let me mute him?
I think he's frozen.
He's frozen. Okay.
Yeah.
He must be getting closer to town where he's
might
getting
be,
the home, and then I've lost him on the phone like that. I don't know how many times.
Well, the only problem when you're driving along like that is you hear all that road noise, and I love having Chris here. What's that? Oh, he's just
trying to get back in.
I don't know. I see him, but I don't see. He's not moving. He's frozen up. Oh, there he is. Are you with us, Chris?
Let it go. Let it go.
I can't even unmute the mic. It won't let me unmute the mic. Nah, he's gone. Nah, it's too bad a connection. So, well, it was good to see you, Chris. Anyway, it's getting kind of late. We're almost done anyway, but good to have you. It was nice driving along with you on the ride home.
It's sunshine.
And in 5 minutes, we're going to lose you, Art.
Yep. Is the
So what's Ken got
sunshine
going on?
blinding you? They're asking.
No, Art's just in costume tonight.
He's just cool.
Because I'm wearing a hat. See,
Yeah, I'm making
Steve,
Mitch feel at home.
we're gonna need a funny hat. We have to have a funny hat night. What's Ken got going on tonight, Art?
He's got a gas.
Really?
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
Wow.
wow. Jeez, I'm glad we got
It's
we got some inside info here. That's terrific.
Yeah. Is it Ashley? Yeah.
I don't know.
Guest host. And there's Mel. Hey, Mel.
Mr. 400 AGL.
From his phone. Hey Mel, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Oh, he's on his phone.
Yeah, I was surprised his old Ken Dono had Gerald Undone as a guest on his show last night.
Really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched a little bit of that.
I'm not familiar with
You can
this
only
Dono
watch.
person.
You know, you can only watch so many of these things.
Yeah.
Well,
Did
especially
anybody-
on Wednesday night, it's like 4 of them that go boom, 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 and then they start overlapping each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
that's right.
and then Adrian came on with a very strange
Oh,
live stream last night.
no, it was a 10-minute, as you would say.
Yeah, it was,
downtrodden.
Yeah,
he
I'm
was
not
live
gonna-
though,
I'm
but
not
it was
gonna go
very
live.
it was very
It was
very
emotional.
strange, and I'm concerned about Adrian. I like we all like Adrian, but evidently somebody really
It's
hurt
twisting
him
his-
very badly.
it's
Very. I
twisting.
mean, you don't come out with a tirade like that against humanity in general unless somebody really hurt your feelings. And
Well, go on Ken Dono's last night. You wanted to talk about a rant. Go back and watch the very end of Ken Dono's live stream. And if any foul language is bothers you, don't
watch.
go.
well, Ken, look, Ken.
Oh no,
Ken,
no, Mitch. You take his normal Ken, multiply
Yeah.
it times 10 last night.
Really,
Oh,
because
boy.
he usually doesn't. I can talk if I just let myself go. Every other word, I'm going to sound like somebody from Goodfellas, because I can do that. Because to me, that if you really want people to understand what you're trying to say, the true meaning of what you're trying to say, you cannot express that without certain profanity. Profanity is the emphasis that
That's the
says,
emotion.
I'm serious about this,
That's the emotion.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, and you guys have never seen me get off on one of my things, but you would not believe it. You would hit the floor if once I
Actually,
get going. Oh man!
You remember that little series parallel deal with Ed? And there was a time where you left.
Well,
the
yeah,
room.
but I never got
yeah.
No,
I
no,
never
no,
used,
I know.
I
but
never
there was a
used
time when
profanity.
you left the room, and I said, "I bet Mitch is in the living room." He took a pillow and went.
Ah,
He's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Normally-
watching you. I could just see the steam slowly
yeah.
coming out of your ears, and you're trying to explain to him, and Ed, it was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, going,
Well, no, because he's an
Well-
electrician too, so he was trying to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
technical or whatever.
Well,
Either way, it worked out at the end. But
we
that
got
was
we got
funny, that was
past that.
funny.
We got
Yeah,
past that. Look,
that's
I mean,
good.
I was right.
oh yeah,
That's all that's important.
Yep, that's
no, but
right.
he admitted to it also. But at the time,
I was wrong. I was wrong once. I was wrong once. This
Yeah,
time
and then you
I
divorced
thought
her.
the time I thought I was wrong, but I wasn't.
is that the time that they said that you asked somebody, "Will you marry
No,
me?"
Steve
Yeah,
was
I just
Steve
heard
was
that.
listening.
It was
The
right
time you
after he
thought you were
said,
wrong,
"I
you
do."
were wrong.
Yeah,
The one time he thought he was wrong, he was wrong.
yeah, but I wasn't. That's what time I was wrong.
What is that?
Well,
Rule number
I
one:
wasn't.
the boss is always right. Rule number two: refer back to rule number one
Number
in
one.
case
Yeah.
of a mistake or
Oh
whatever.
God! I had that one time. I worked in this farmer's market. That was my first job I ever had. I was making $1.25 an hour, working out there in inland here on the highway, and it was like a farmer ranch market.
Right.
You'd lift up the spot, and you have the wooden poles holding up it, and all the produce was in there. Everything was in there. This old lady comes out. She's driving this beautiful Cadillac for the time, And she goes out there and she's knocking around checking on watermelons. She's trying to find a watermelon. And she looks at me, she says, "Young man, can you help me find a watermelon?" I go, "Be more than happy to." And my luck with watermelon, I'd probably be about a 95 percentile. I mean, I could pick out a good watermelon 95% of the time. I go over there and find this one, and I said, "Ma'am, this one would be perfect for you. And it's about the size you were looking for." And she starts knocking on. She goes, "No, no, no, that isn't right. That isn't right." "Okay, you want to find another one then?" And so I picked out another one and found it. So I put it to the side and then came back to it, right? After 6 or 7 watermelons. And she goes, "No, no, 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 that isn't right." I go, "Ma'am, I'm telling you, this one will be perfect." And she just got real happy. She says, "Don't you know the customer's always right?" And I mean, I was probably, I want to say maybe around 14 years old. I just turned her, looked her square in the eye and said, "Bullshit, they are." And she just like, "Let this watermelon down, get in there." It wasn't like 15 minutes later. Mind you, there are no cell phones. So
Your boss.
phone calls coming in to the owner.
Yeah, I'm going to write a review on Yelp. You're going to be ruined.
There was no Yelp back then.
Here comes the owner out, and he comes out, and his name was Harrison. And he goes, "Steve, was there a lady over here and you had a problem?" I said, "Yeah." I says, "I was going through and I let the whole story out." And he goes, "Did you get her name?" And I go, "No, but I started giving her the description of her." And he goes, "That bitch, she was back again." And that's what he told me. And he goes, "You did good."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Customer service. I've been around it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I clean fish tanks for a living. You can clean the whole fish tank. They look for that one little spot. That's it. Just so tricky, people and customers, and keeping them happy. It's a big deal.
Art,
Yep.
I'm going to start wrapping it up, and I know you got to go, so
All right.
we'll let you slick
Thanks
out of
for
here
having
first.
me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I'm getting tired of wearing this silly
Yeah.
hat.
Put some salve on that. Put some.
Well, they said basically just leave it out
Not
here.
even
Don't put a
concentration?
bandage on it. Don't put anything on it. Just let it
Not
heal.
even
So-
concentration or anything? Really? Like the healing
What,
cream?
Carlos?
Concentration? They didn't
No,
ask
they
you?
said
No?
nope. They said don't
Okay.
put anything on it.
I guess
Okay.
it's air.
Let it heal.
Robert Glazier came to
That's-
say hello and goodbye all at once. No.
Oh,
But he's
Hey,
in
all
here.
right. Well, all right,
care,
guys. Good
Robert.
to see you, Robert and Chris.
We'll see you all.
Enjoyed
over
okay.
another place.
All righty. And Art, you ready?
I'm ready.
Press
There
the
we go.
button.
All right. Good night, everybody.
One more time.
See you next time.
Okay. Third time's the
Bye-bye.
charm, Art.
I'm going. Here I
Yeah, here, you're gone.
See ya.
God, I tell you what, man, I can't. It's
timing
so
is no
tough,
good.
so tough to get the timing right. Anyway, Carlos, thanks so much for coming in and helping.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, buddy.
We'll talk. If you need to reach me, call me.
Yeah.
If you want
Okay.
to, whatever we need to talk about, let me know. And I'm going to see if I can make the, I don't know. I think I could drive there in about 20 hours or 2 days. Who knows?
Oh,
We'll see.
easy. Yeah. I've
All
done
right.
it in one day, but yeah, from New York. All right, buddy. I'll talk
All right,
to
we'll
you soon.
talk. Steve, nice to see
Good
you.
to see you, Carlos.
buddy.
Take care.
Okay, Steve, thanks for coming in.
Mitch, thank you for having me in, and
Always a
enjoyed
pleasure.
it. It's always fun to. And the best part was just watching Brian going. Everybody in chat, take care.
all
Have a
right.
great rest of your night. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming. And Pete Nunez. No, I'm not flying tomorrow morning, Pete. I got some things I got to do around the house, but I'll probably be out there Saturday if it isn't too windy. It was a little windy this morning. So thanks for your help with that video. And I guess, I don't know if you get to see it yet, but you're a star. Your voice is in that video of Carlos's flights, which I posted today. And that'll about wrap it up for me, guys. Going to get rid of this hat, get back in a t-shirt that's comfortable, grab a cigar, go outside, watch a little bit of Ken Herron's show, and I'm going to take the rest of the day off and suggest you all do the same. So Rick Halbert, thanks so much for coming in. Rick Jody, Drone Shots. Steve, appreciated you on the panel. AZ Drone Dude, thanks for hanging in there. Carlos, thanks for being on the panel. And Pete, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in tonight. Robert Glazier, quick visit, but appreciate you coming. Agent K, thank you, man. Agent K hangs in there with us, and always appreciate that. Chris, enjoyed riding home with you, my friend. Who else we got? Mel, if you're still here, good to see you. Tomas, thank you, man. Thanks for coming in. Bob Casey, always a pleasure. Steve Carpenter, Chris Hope, who did I miss? I know I missed somebody, but I'm only going to go back so far here. Mike Roche, glad you were here. Glad you could make it. We only got 14 left. I don't know who's still here, but I think that's about everybody. Erwin EBR, thanks for coming in. And that'll have to do it. So with that, guys, I will bring up a little music. I like that. And we'll bring it to a close. So thanks for coming in. Enjoyed having everybody. It's a great show. Thanks to my panelists. And we will see you next time. So take the rest of the day off. Go play with your drones. And I'll turn it over to my trusty sidekick over there, Spank the monkey. And he'll say goodnight. Say goodnight, Spanky.